How you guys doing tonight? Good, good. Did anybody, to get here tonight, did anybody have, I can't even see up there, it's like blinding. Did anybody have to get a babysitter to get here tonight? Anybody? Nobody?
Right here.
You had to get a babysitter to come here? I think I didn't know you're here. I remember when my daughter was younger and I had to get a babysitter to go out anywhere. And I would always hope that I would get the teenager next door to help to babysit, because then I'd have to rely on my husband and it was just a mess. With a teenager, I'd get out of the house a little quicker. My list to her would go something like this. My cell phone number's on the refrigerator. Call me if you need me. Give her a snack about 7 o'clock, and 7:30 she can go to bed. And I'm out the door. With my husband, the list would be a little bit longer, a little bit more detailed. His list would go something like this. Babe, I got my cell phone on me. Don't you dare call me. Figure it out for yourself. Sticking a spoon in a pint of Ben & Jerry's, putting sprinkles on it and saying, have at it, is not an appropriate snack for a 3-year-old. And my personal favorite, bedtime is not when you see my headlights coming down the driveway. My husband and I are very different. I am an energy-sensing, positive thinker. I kind of go to that law of attraction type stuff. And my husband, he's a typical guy. I'm the type of person that carries around one of those reusable shopping bags because I'm going to save the earth one bag at a time. I don't know about you. My husband tells me, he says, you know, if God had wanted us to be a little bit more earth-friendly, he would have designed us a little better, like having a pouch, like a kangaroo. He said he alone could have saved 2 acres of the rainforest by putting the beer bottles directly in the pouch as opposed to using a paper bag. My daughter, just like any other kid, was very intuitive when she was younger. She picks up things. So she knew how mom was and how dad was. But it was never so evident. One day she comes home and she tells us from school that there was a boy in school and she was playing with a shovel and he took it from her. So she looked at her father and said, so I hit him and I grabbed it back. And without skipping a beat, she looks at me and she says, but mommy, I sent him positive energy so he could find another shovel to play with. Anybody out there a parent of an only child? Onlys? Okay. We have to stand in solidarity, seriously, because I've heard that we are not really parents. And while I understand your more refined skills kick in when you have maybe 2 or 3, I mean, it doesn't take a genius to figure out who wrote on the living room wall, who left the front door open, or as the cat's going by, who painted the cat's tail red, right? The door might be a little bit difficult if your husband's home, but I'm trying not to knock on guys tonight. But, you know, we have our own set of issues and problems. You know, we have one chance to get it right. I mean, think about it. Like, if you have one kid and ends up in jail, or what I heard recently, your kid gets kicked out of Harvard before they get in Harvard, you know? If you got one, you're done, right? But people who have 2, 3, 7 kids, you know, the ones who couldn't contain themselves in a bedroom, they got a lot better chance of turning out pretty good, right? So I know, like, someone says, yeah, Bobby, he's our son, he's smoking stuff that he shouldn't be smoking. There's kids here. And he's living in our basement. You know, he's not so good. But Julie, oh, she's got a great job, a wonderful husband, and her own apartment. I'd be like, yeah, that was my daughter who knocked over the 85-year-old lady and took her purse. But you gotta see my dog. Does the best sit up and roll over you've ever seen. Who here is into infants? Who likes infants? I look up there, but I can't see a thing. It's black up there. All right. You're crazy. I really don't understand how anybody could be around a non-speaking, sleep-deprived, totally dependent individual. That's like living with my ex-husband. And then when they become toddlers, we're not talking any better. Now you're living with a person who walks and talks like they're drunk, and they hate every piece of food you put in front of them. Again, a lot like my ex-husband. I like the teenage years. I have an inherent need to feel stupid and out of touch, and teenagers pretty much fulfill this need on a daily basis. You may have figured out by now that I am not a Massachusetts native. I know some people hear my accent. I made up this little line. Let me see if I can remember it, so you can hear. Maybe you'll figure out where I'm from. My daughter took a drink of water before she walked the dog. New Jersey, New Jersey. Exit 2, for those who really need to know. Yeah, we moved up here about 10 years ago, and we moved to Barry. I don't know if you know where that is. Yeah, near the Quabbin. But we almost didn't move to Barry, because Barry is where I experienced those signs you have all over your state, thickly settled, right? So I'm looking at this going, oh, how rude. Big boned, heavy set, thickly settled, it all means the same thing to me. There's no way that I'm buying a house outside with a sign like that outside of it. I'm like, you gotta be kidding. It was like basically the same concept when my husband wanted to buy a Honda Accord XL. I said, there is no way that I'm putting the letters XL on the back end of anything I own. I don't care how good the car is. Right? So, I'm thinking, wait, I'm dropping my thing. So I'm thinking, how, I don't understand the concept. What's this crazy? I'm thinking, how could I ever invite my Aunt Josephine over? She's 4 foot nothing. She sees that sign, she'll grab the stick of hard salami she carries in her purse and beat me with it. I'm like, this is crazy. So someone explained to me that no, it means that the houses are closer together. Are you kidding me? Have you people been to New Jersey? By that same standard, the signs in my town would read obnoxiously settled. In Jersey, for a while there, they were thinking you have DCF up here. We didn't actually need DCF. If your kid was acting up, you just opened your window, your neighbor would reach in, slap him up in the back of the head, you shut the window and you go on with dinner. God. So, and I was going to say, so really, what I really was looking at was crazy, because I'm 3/4 Italian. Half my family is thickly settled, right? So I'll give you a visual. You have a can of Play-Doh. You take the top off, and you put it in your hand. And then you take a gobstopper. I'm sorry, I'm in Massachusetts. A jawbreaker. You take a jawbreaker, and you put it on top. That's what the women look like in my family by the time they reach the age of 50. So when I was talking about infants, I really am serious. I'm not a fan of infants. I don't like what they can't tell you what they want. I remember my daughter was very young, and she'd be crying and whining, and I can't stand that, pointing in the refrigerator, and I'm like, what? Milk? Juice? The steak from last night? What do you want? Right? So to avoid this, I called her non-speaking years, I taught her sign language. I mean, honest truth, by the time she was 10 months old, she knew 65 signs, most of them clean. What they don't tell you when you're reading the books and getting the video, thing that come out, that just like teaching a child how to talk, you have to watch what you say. Now you got to watch what you do. I'm Italian. The kid was doomed from the very beginning. So I'm teaching. So one day my mother comes over and she does this. Does anybody know what that means? Any Italians in the house? Okay. Let me translate it loosely. If I could kill you right now and bury you in the backyard, I would. That's pretty much what it means. So she does this to my mother, and I said, oh, Ma, it means she's hungry. And my mother didn't buy it, because that was her favorite sign when we were kids. So then another one she picked up on was, she went like this. Now, this is not that, it's not like giving someone the finger. It really is. It's like, leave me alone, forget about it. But it's not good for a little kid to do it to an adult, right? So she does this. So I tell my mother-in-law, she says, oh, it means nice to meet you. She was English-German. She bought it. I often wonder if I'm, the only one who just is overwhelmed by parenting. And, I can't be the only one waking up in the morning thinking, maybe she'll get off the wrong bus stop today. I love that joke. That never goes over well. But I will be the first to admit that most of the time, I have no idea what I'm doing. I just try to get through every day, inflicting as little emotional and psychological pain on my daughter as I possibly can, unlike what my parents did to me. Let me explain my parents. My mother is an outspoken, devoutly Catholic Italian. My father is an introverted, atheist Irishman. My career was set by the age of 3. I'm a social worker. There pretty much isn't anything that anybody could bring to me that I haven't probably experienced firsthand, right? Let me give you a little picture into the household. 21st birthday, true story. 21st birthday. I have 3 younger siblings. My parents call us into the living room, and I'm thinking, I'm getting a car. You know, I've been good, I don't drink, I don't do drugs, my grades have always been perfect, I got 1 more year at college. It's a Mustang, and it's red. I know it. We sit down, and they tell us they're getting divorced. So years later, I asked my mom, I said, why on my birthday, my 21st birthday? She goes, I told your father we shouldn't have done it that day. I'm like, really? You think? I'm like, yeah, social worker, set. I was set. The phrase earlier, I said, are you kidding me? I love that phrase. It's very universal, if you really think about it. So your kid comes home from school and says he got suspended. Are you kidding me? Right? Shoot. So your spouse comes home and says they got a raise. Are you kidding me? Right? My favorite is your 45-year-old sister tells you she's pregnant with her 3rd child. Are you kidding me? You can always add a little emphasis with, an extra word in there. Like the time I backed into my husband's 6-month-old Dodge Charger. Are you effing kidding me? You're freaking kidding me. So the first time I learned that phrase, or kind of coined the phrase, or I thought I coined it, I was 9 years old. My mother had called me into my bedroom and wanted to show me the proper way to make my bed with hospital corners. Any of you people, this sick ritual, you know this? Okay. So I'm watching this, and I'm looking, I innocently asked, why does it have to be so neat? To which she said, what will people think? And that's when it hit me. Are you kidding me? Who are these people? And what are they doing in my bedroom? But this just added to my fantasy. I had a fantasy that my parents would go away. Not get maimed or killed or diseased or anything, just go away. Come on, I know some of you have the same fantasy. I can't be the only one. So it would add to it. So there I am, I'm watching the Brady Bunch, and those people come to my door and demand to see my bed sheets. I take them to my room, I throw back the bedspread, they gasp in the horrorness of the ugliness of it all, and take my mother away. And on that note, I'm going to take myself away, but I want to leave you with one thing. Children are gifts, so share them with as many friends and family as you possibly can.